The Hyundai Veloster may have started Hyundai's newfound sports-oriented party, but it left early when Hyundai decided that the entire model line wasn't worth producing. It first started out small, just discontinuing the base and turbo trims of the quirky 3-door, leaving the Veloster N hot hatch to serve as its lone sport hot hatch, at least in the US and Canada where we don't get the i30 N or i20 N. Then, it introduced the Kona N and Elantra N and killed off the Veloster N in one fell swoop. But is the Elantra N the real deal? Is it, along with the Kona N, enough to fill the 3-door hot hatch hole in our hearts? After a week with Elantra N, I think the answer is yes. Key features: turbocharged, direct injected 2.0-liter 4-cylinder. In-grid shift-over boost function. 8-speed DCT, or 6-speed manual. Electronically controlled suspension. Specifications: model, Elantra N. Engine, 2.0 liters turbocharged direct injected 4-cylinder. Horsepower, 276 horsepower. Torque, 289 pounds-foot. Drivetrain, front engine, Ford. Transmission, 6-speed manual, 8-speed wet dual clutch. MSRP, $32,650. Pros: exceptional grip, extremely solid structure, good level of performance for price. Good sounding exhaust and augmented engine sound. 6-speed manual available. The Hyundai Elantra is a bog-standard compact sedan, meant to go toe-to-toe with cars like the Honda Civic, Toyota Corolla, and Nissan Sentra. But like those former two, which have hotted up versions of themselves in the form of the Honda Civic C, Honda Civic Type R, and Toyota GR Corolla, Hyundai has also thrown its gauntlet into the ring with the Elantra. It's let its N division, once run by former BMW M exec Albert Biermann, work its magic on the basic, but pleasant Elantra sedan, transforming it into a super sport compact capable of challenging a lot of nameplates. For 2023, not much has changed for the Elantra N. The Elantra N only comes in one trim, and aside from choosing one of 5 colors, the only available option for the Elantra N is the 8-speed, wet dual-clutch automatic transmission, a $1,500 option. Otherwise, all Elantra Ns come out of the factory with the same equipment. Outside, the Elantra N shares most of its lines with the standard Elantra sedan, save for some racy changes to the exterior. Most startlingly, the front fascia is a massive matte black, with the N logo taking up real estate on one side of the blacked-out grille. Circling around the car are racy side skirts outlined in red, that look as if they're designed to induce downforce. Coupled with the black rear spoiler, big 19-inch wheels wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sports, the whole package is very reminiscent of its TCR race car cousin. Some love it, appreciating the racy styling. Others found it to be a little too much. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but one thing you can't call the Elantra N is bland. The sporty demeanor continues inside, too. The Elantra N is mostly the same as the standard Elantra, meaning, the interior is spacious and comfortable with an ergonomically good, well-finished, for its price point, dashboard. But, Hyundai's put flashes of sporting aspirations all across the interior. The seats are racy, one-piece units with aggressive side bolstering, and a light-up-in logo in the middle. Sporty, yet, maybe ubiquitous Alcantara commonly found on basically every sports-oriented car is here on the Elantra N, but Hyundai stylists have thankfully refrained from plastering every surface with the played-out material. The driving position is good, and the steering wheel has plenty of adjustment, meaning, drivers of all shapes and sizes should be able to find the ideal driving position to comfortably fling the Elantra N through corners. Much of the Elantra N's hardware is stuff we've already seen before, sort of. It has the same 2.0-liter, turbocharged engine that we've already sampled in the Kona N, and originally showed up in the dearly departed Veloster, and this engine is direct injected, producing 276 horsepower and 289 Nm of torque, identical to the output in the Kona N, but up on horsepower and torque from the Veloster, and all of that power juice goes to the front wheels either via a 6-speed manual or the test car's optional 8-speed wet dual-clutch automatic. However, although the powertrains are similar, the platforms between the Kona N and Elantra N are different, with the Elantra N on a newer, updated design now shared with the all-new Kia Niro. The Elantra N is lower, wider, and longer than the Kona N, and has a whopping 40 different Elantra N-specific engineering differences that no other Hyundai N car gets. For example, the Elantra N uses an integrated drive axle, where the drive axle, wheel bearing, and wheel hub are all one integrated piece, a move that Hyundai says saves nearly 4 pounds per axle, while being stronger and coping better with cornering G-forces. The front suspension has some clever electronic control trickery, and the bushings have been specifically developed to please both the ride and the handling gods. In all, the Elantra N is reportedly 29% stiffer than the standard Elantra sedan, and it seems that all of those model-specific changes have paid off. In short, the 2023 Hyundai Elantra N is, in a word, fantastic to drive. Viscerally, dynamically, and orally, the Elantra N hits all of the right notes for enthusiast drivers. It's so good, that I got over being a little miffed that I had an automatic transmission test vehicle instead of the 6-speed manual, within the first 20 minutes of driving the car. Like the Kona N, the Elantra N is perfectly content to do its best impression of any regular compact car when driven non-aggressively. In eco or normal mode, the transmission is smooth and unintrusive, the car is reasonably quiet, and the ride is generally compliant even on those big 19-inch wheels. Yet, press one of the N buttons on the steering wheel, or the drive mode selector on the center console, and the Elantra N roars to life, literally. The pumped-in, simulated sound, called the N-sound equalizer, convincingly feeds sound into the Elantra N, arguably the best simulated sound in the business. It's raw and throaty, well-considered, and full-bodied, without sounding explicitly fake or low-quality as if it's a basic low-bitrate WMA file played via the cheapest paper cone speaker an automaker could shove under the front seat. Match the throttle, and the Elantra N's front-wheel drive design makes its presence known with a touch of torque stare. Yet, it's manageable, and imbues a bit of personality. It's a car that playfully fights back, rather than being a sterile track machine. The engine and transmission feel the same way. The 2.0-liter turbo has some lag, but it feels charismatic as if the car is encouraging you to push it harder. The 8-speed auto is quick and responsive, emitting a farting noise that's all too familiar to anyone who has ever experienced a high-powered vehicle with a dual-clutch gearbox. Joyfully, aside from the slight iota of torque steer, the Elantra N's traction and cornering management are sublime. The car is incredibly easy to place in curves. Accelerating out of them is rewarding, as the limited slip differential helps the car set up its corner exit, going where you point it. The steering is well-weighted, communicative, and enjoyable for drivers of all skill levels.